Hello, and welcome to the CINCILINGUA live class. My name is Connie, and in this Everyday Situations live class, we are going to talk about cooking. Cooking utensils. Up at the top here, we have a bread pan. It looks like some yummy bread in there too, don't you think? And then we have a cake pan with some yummy cake in there. You put some icing on top of there, some frosting. Looks like that'll taste good, don't you agree? And then we have our colander, which we're going to strain some pasta in there. We have our cookie cutter, and we have a cookie sheet. It looks like we've got some meringue there that we're making to put on top of those cookies. That looks like that's going to taste good. And we have our cooling rack. Looks like we've got brownies on top of there cooling. This is making me hungry. What about you guys? And then we have a cupcake muffin pan. And then we have our cutting board where we're cutting things. And then we have our dish towel. And down at the very bottom right corner, a flambe pan. I can tell you, you're not going to catch me using a flambe pan. Do you see that fire? No. And I've got a story to tell you guys about that. Okay. Do you like to cook? No, I do not. I love to eat. Tell me in the chat if you like to cook. Um, I'll cook once in a while. I will help my daughters cook, but I prefer to cook something simple if I have to cook, not something, extravagant like with that flambe pan. No, ma'am. No, sir. Mm-mm. What is your favorite food to cook? Something really simple and easy. And how many of these utensils do you use? Well, I use the cutting board. Definitely use the dish towel. I use the colander. And that's about it. Because like I said, I don't really cook or bake. I have all these. My daughters use them. Mom does not. The flambe pan. Yes. Well, when I was a young adult, before I had my children, I had a nephew. I don't remember what birthday it was for him, but I was going to be the best aunt in the world, right? And I was going to make him a cake. And I don't know if they had those fancy cake pans yet that came out in the shape of a horse or Mickey Mouse or whatever. If they did, I didn't know about them. And he liked horses, so I was going to make him a cake in the shape of a rocking horse. And you had to make, I don't know how many sheet cakes, and then you had to cut them into the different shapes, like a circle, rectangle, square, rectangles and squares and stuff like that. So I did that. And then you had to use all this frosting and icing to get it together. And then you had to put it in the oven for X amount of time with some coconut on top of different pieces to make it look like the mane and the tail. And I did that. And I was babysitting, and one of the kids acquired my attention, and then one of the other kids started screaming that there was a fire in the kitchen and the coconut had caught on fire in my oven. Excuse me. Yeah. So he didn't get his cake, his really special cake. He got a cake, but not the one his auntie was making for him. So I never tried to make a special cake, especially one with brown coconut anymore. And to use a flambe pan, yeah, that would just be way too dangerous. So I've never used one, and I've never been to a restaurant that does use one because it just scares me. So, do you prefer to cook at home or eat at a restaurant? I like both. It just depends on the day. And like I said, if we're having a big meal, if my daughters are here to help, then I'll help. It's just not, I don't want to cook a big meal by myself anymore. I've done it in the past, yes. What will you cook today? I've already made some soup today. I don't know what I'll fix later. Do you like to bake? No. That cake with the coconut? Last time I really baked anything, don't like to bake. Cooking utensils. There's a frying pan and a garlic press, a grater, and a griddle. The frying pan looks like they're putting an egg in there. Yes, I have a frying pan, and yes, I fry eggs, sometimes potatoes, sometimes couple of other different things. A garlic press, I do have one, and I do use it. The grater, I have one, and I use it. I know that's a miracle, right? A griddle. Yes, I have one. I have used it lots because I have lots of children. How many? You're just going to have to ask me in that chat box if you want to know how many. A grill, I have used it. I've got an inside grill and an outside grill. And stovetop, I've had the gas stove. Now I have an electric stove. A juicer, I have had one in the past, but I don't like pulp in my juice, and neither do any of my kids. So I got rid of it. A ladle, I have one because we like lots of soup. Measuring cup, I have one. And a microwave, definitely have one. So do you like to cook on a grill? I do, but I'd rather have someone else cook on a grill. Are you seeing a path here? Yes. I'd rather have someone else cook it. I'll eat it. Definitely will I eat it. But I'd rather have someone else cook it. I'll clean up for you. Definitely. But something I've noticed for some reason, a lot of people don't want you cleaning up in their kitchen, which is weird because if I do happen to cook and you offer to clean, do it. Yes, I'm not going to tell you no. I think some people think I'm going to say no because that's what they would do. But I'm like, yeah, go ahead and do it. But I will ask some people that cook and they're like, oh, no, no, no. And I'm like, come on, let me do it. I really will do it. I will clean up for you. And they are very insistent. No, I don't like anyone cleaning in my kitchen. And I'm like, okay, but I would rather clean than cook. What foods do you cook on a grill? Hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken, vegetables. How many times a day do you cook? Maybe once, maybe none. Because sometimes maybe what I'm eating doesn't need to be cooked. And I only have one daughter left that lives at home. So, and sometimes what she is eating doesn't need to be cooked. Do you have any of these cooking utensils? I have the frying pan. I have the garlic press. I have, I no longer have the griddle because it's just me and the one daughter at home. I have a grill and I have a stove. No longer have the juicer. I have a ladle, have a measuring cup, and I have a microwave. More cooking utensils. I have a mixer and a mixing bowl, a candy mold, and a pie pan. The sifter and a toaster oven, a whisk, and wooden spoons. The mixer, sorry, I said that wrong. The mixer is really good at mixing cake cake batter together. Sometimes cookie batters can be mixed up that way, and it's really good also if you hand make by scratch your frostings. Excuse me. And then you put it into your cake, excuse me, your cake pan and put it into the oven. And now you're going to wash those little beaters that are in the bowl, but that electrical piece you're just going to wipe off and put it back in your cabinet. And then second picture is a mixing bowl. What she's using in the first picture is a glass mixing bowl, and in that second picture, it is a metal mixing bowl. And then the candy mold, that looks like it's gonna make some really good chocolate candy when it's finished. And then there's a pie pan. Looks like that's gonna be maybe like a blueberry pie. And then a sifter, she's just sifting that flour to make it really fine flour mix. And she's making some toast. And then there's a toaster oven. She can make different things in that toaster oven, doesn't have to turn on the oven and make the house really hot. And if you're just making like a scrambled egg, you can use that whisk instead of the mixer up at the top. And if you're using some really special cookware, you can use those wooden spoons so you don't scratch up your cookware. And what types of desserts do you like? I like chocolate. Yeah, chocolate. So chocolate cake would be good. Chocolate candy would be good. But I also like blueberry. So I love blueberry pie. What type of desserts do you bake? Now we know. I don't bake. So I don't bake. What type of desserts do you bake? Let me know in the chat box. Do you use a toaster to make toast for breakfast? Sometimes, not very often, but sometimes. Which of these cooking utensils do you have? I have the mixer. I have mixing bowl. They're glass. Candy molds, I gave those to my daughters. Pie pan, I have, but my daughters have taken them home with them. Sifter, I no longer have it. One of my daughters took it home. I have a toaster. I no longer have a toaster oven. Guess what happened to it? You're right. One of my daughters took it home. So I have an air fryer. They can't take it home because it's too big for them to walk out the door with it without me seeing it. I have a couple of whisks and I have some wooden spoons. Do you prefer to use an oven or a toaster oven? I like my air fryer. Ha! There we go. Air fryers have become very popular in the USA. Do you have one? Yes, I do. Do I use one? Yes, I do. Excuse me. Cooking techniques. Bake, barbecue, blanch, boil, braise, flambe, fry, grilling outside, excuse me, or grilling inside. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Oh, that barbecue looks really good, doesn't it? I like that broccoli too. That looks good. We're all going to be hungry after watching that, looking at this, aren't we? I'm going to have to find somebody to cook for me. Just kidding. Okay. Which cooking techniques do you use? I do bake. I barbecue. I do blanch and boil. Braise, no. And flambe, we know. We know that's a big no. Big, big no. Fry, sometimes, but not in a fryer like that. Grilling outside, I have done, but I never let the fire get up like that. So maybe I do it wrong. And grilling inside, I do have a grill inside. How often do you grill? Maybe once or twice a year. Which foods do you fry? Um, Eggs. I guess that's not what they're really talking about. Potatoes, but again, not in a fryer like that. How did you learn to cook? From my dad. Yes, my dad was the cook in our family. Um, and from my mama. Yep. Do you use cookbooks? No, not really. And do you share your recipes? I really don't have any recipes to share. I don't think I have recipes anyone would want to share because I don't cook, right? So there's nothing anyone would want to share, right? What about you guys? Put it in the chat. Let me know. More cooking. I can't speak really. Cooking. I'm just seeing if you guys are paying attention. Cooking techniques. There's the microwave. That's a big, big, big winner here in my house. And then there's poached, roasted nuts, roasting outside, a rotisserie, saute, simmer, mortar and pestle, steamed, stew, stir fry, and toasted. What is your favorite way to cook? I have a 14-year-old, and she thinks the only way to cook is the microwave, right? Poached, I do that once in a while. Roasted nuts, I do like. Roasting over a fire outside, my daughters love to do that. Rotisserie chicken, I like that. Saute is good. Simmer, I do that with vegetables. Um, Stew, I love beef stew. Steamed vegetables is good. And stir fry, I really love stir fry. Stir fry is good. Toasted, like toasted, like toast in the morning. Yeah, but not very often. I don't eat toast a lot. So I would say out of all these, which do I do the most would be the microwave. Definitely, definitely the microwave. Oh, now we're going to have some fun. We're going to look at some recipes. So I think we're going to have an appetizer and an entree and a dessert. So if you guys want to write down the recipes, you may want to go grab a pen and paper. So I'll give you a minute to go grab that. And don't worry if you don't get to write it all down because this is going to be put on the membership page. So you can always go re-watch this. And maybe that's how you're watching it now. And you can just keep rewatching it. You get it all wrote down. Okay? So let's go look at some recipes. Oh, spinach and artichoke dip. I love this one. Have I ever made it myself? No. Will I ever make it myself? Probably not. Have I had it made by some friends? Yes. And it's absolutely amazing every time, even with different friends making it. I've had it every time I go to a restaurant and it's on their appetizer section. I order it. I love it. And my daughters, and I will tell you now, I have nine of them. Yes, nine. That is what I said. And so every time I have went out to eat with them and ordered it, they've all been like, ugh. But then when it gets there and they try it, because they always have to try it, that's mom's rule. You have to try it. They all end up loving it. So now when we go out and it's on the menu, they order it. So, okay. So the appetizer recipe, spinach and artichoke dip. The ingredients you will need are 1 cup of shredded mozzarella, 6 ounces of cream cheese, a half a cup of grated Parmesan, 2 minced garlic cloves, 1 can of chopped artichokes, 8 cups of spinach leaves, a half a teaspoon of black pepper and salt, a teaspoon of basil and oregano, and a half a teaspoon of garlic salt, cherry tomatoes cut in half. I'm just looking at that picture going, oh, I want some spinach and artichoke dip. Okay. The directions. In a slow cooker, combine your mozzarella, your cream cheese, your Parmesan, your garlic, your artichokes, your spinach, your basil, oregano, garlic salt, pepper and salt. You're going to cook that on high for 2 hours. Then put your tomatoes on top. Use garlic bread or your favorite bread or tortilla chips and dip that in and enjoy. Doesn't that look yummy? Yes, it does. Our entree or our main course is a ravioli casserole. The ingredients, 2 pounds of Italian sausage, 2 jars of spaghetti sauce, 2 cups of ricotta cheese, excuse me, 2 packages of cream cheese, a half a cup of sour cream, 4 tablespoons of parsley, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Excuse me. 1 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, 2 packages of frozen ravioli, and 4 cups of mozzarella cheese for topping. I want you to come over here in the ingredients section for a minute. Here, where it's TBSP, is the abbreviation for tablespoon because of the B. Excuse me. Because there's a B in tablespoon. And TSP is the abbreviation for teaspoon. Okay. Directions. We're going to preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Use a 9 by 13 by 2-inch pan with cooking spray. Brown the sausage and then drain off the fat. Stir in the sauce, and in a large bowl, you're going to combine all your cheeses, the sour cream, and the spices. Then you're going to add the ravioli in and toss it. Put it all in the pan, put it in the pan and pour in the meat sauce and top it with mozzarella. And then bake it, sorry, bake covered for 40 minutes. That looks really good. Okay, I wonder what our dessert's going to be. Oh, yummy chocolate chip cookies. Okay, the dessert recipe, chocolate chip cookies. The ingredients, we're going to need 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 stick of salted butter, 1 cup of white and brown sugar, 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 12 ounces of dark chocolate chips. Directions. Mix together the flour, the baking powder, the baking soda, and salt in a separate bowl. Cream the butter, the sugars, the egg, and the vanilla. Add the flour mixture to the wet ingredients and beat at medium speed until combined. Stir in the chocolate chips shaped into balls and bake at 400 degrees for 10 minutes. Excuse me. You're going to take those out of the oven. You're going to put them on a cooling rack. So sorry for all the coughing. Those look good. Can almost smell them, right? I'm really sorry for all the coughing today. I want to thank you for attending this live class. I look forward to working with you in the next Everyday Situations live class. I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and thank you for cooking with me today. Have a wonderful day.